screens the Maul legacy.
Hi, everybody. Oh my goodness, what an intro. How we feeling, everybody? Is everybody having a great fan expo so far? Do you like my jacket?
Right.
Okay, today I'm Ash Carlson from Screen Rant, by the way. I'm so excited to be your moderator today. And we are going to talk and dive into all things Maul Shadow Lord, which I assume you all had the chance to see and loved it. Yeah? Yeah? All right, so we're going to bring out some of the cast and creatives that help put Maul Shadow Lord together. So please join me in welcoming Sam Whitworth. Marshall, Gideon Atlan, David W. Collins, and Matthew Wood. This is hard. Expected. How are we?
Sit on the water.
Excellent. Hi, everybody. Are we cozy? Are we good?
You guys good? You need anything?
Great.
You good?
Love it. Love it. Okay. How is everybody enjoying their fan expo so far?
It's great. It's good. I like it.
Love it.
Fun. Good to see you guys. You guys having a good time?
I know, David, I feel like you're usually in this chair. I'm intimidated.
I'm sorry?
I feel like you're usually here and I'm intimidated.
I can't even.
I'm just kidding.
Where's the monitor? We can't hear each other. Yeah.
So, okay, I feel like we've spoken a few times before the show came out, and now that everyone's had the chance to see it, what has been your favorite responses of the first season thus far?
Favorite responses from the first season, guys, what do you think?
100% on Rotten Tomatoes, and the Andor of animation, that's pretty awesome.
Good response. That's good. My brother liked it.
Okay, that's
That's a
good.
good response.
My kids loved it, and I thought maybe they'd be too scared, but no, they're all about it. Now they've got Darth Maul hats, and yeah, they absolutely love the show. They love Devin with Maul as well. They love the story, and it was great when we did we did a screening of the last two episodes on a big screen, Dolby Atmos, at a movie theater, and watching everybody jump at the same time when they got scared, and that it's been really fun to surprise people with the show and watch our buddy Sam just absolutely crush it as Darth Maul. It's just been so great to see Maul finally get his own series and to have a chance to work together on it.
Sam, I gotta put you on the spot because we were talking about iconic Maul lines, and I was like, oh, like the Kenobi one is one that people like quote all the time, and I said, what's your favorite Maul line of all time? And you said it's in this season.
Not this season.
What do you mean?
Another season.
Oh my God, you can't keep moving the
So
needle.
sorry, we're kicking that can down the road.
Okay.
Yeah, no, there's a really good line. Hopefully it's in season 2, but these things change quite a bit.
Okay.
Right now it is in.
Okay.
And if it is not, I don't know. I'll say it anyway at some point.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, coming into the series in general, like what were you most excited to explore in terms of just like, I mean, it's the first series where it's a villain's story. So what were you most excited to explore about that?
Well, I was hoping that we would get into that we would explore his point of view, because villains don't think that they are villains. They see things from a particular point of view. And I was very happy that in season 1 I felt like we achieved that we really saw what he thought he was doing versus what he maybe is really doing, which what he thinks he's doing is a really good thing. What he actually did is he helped murder a Jedi Master, I guess. Spoiler alert. Really, but that was Vader. Vader did that. Sorry. I know you're still She's mad at me for that, but she's
I'm
gonna
processing.
just gonna be
Still
fine.
processing.
She's a great apprentice. It's cool.
I hope you've all seen the whole season. I'm sure they have, right?
Spoiler and all. You know, there's still people who are waiting. I don't know for what.
I've met people who are just starting to watch Rebels now, which I think is the value of streaming. There's no hurry to get to Maul. You can take your time. So sorry for any spoilers, but
But you do need to be aware. Sooner or later, death will come. You need to see it before that.
yes.
You need to see it before death's icy finger touches you. So don't wait too long.
Don't wait too long.
It's good advice.
No,
Icy finger of death.
Icy or spicy?
You know,
No,
The
no,
spicy
no.
finger of death. You know what? Maybe we'll change the subject.
Spicy food.
Do you ever think about the icy finger of death reaching to every day?
Every day, yeah. I mean, it keeps me motivated.
Yep. Yep.
what is going on here? Now, Vanessa, I want to ask you. I mean, we've mentioned this, but during Star Wars Celebration, when everyone's like, "What is Vanessa doing here?" We were all a little suspicious that something was going to be announced back in Japan. How long had you been holding on to the secret that you would be returning in Maul? And just tell me about just kind of coming back as front cast.
Well, I think it started at the end of 2024. I'm not exactly sure. And of course, I would never say anything. And Rookcast was in the trailer that was released in Japan, so I thought it was appropriate that I attend the event, but they didn't announce any other cast members, so I couldn't say anything. And I kept saying to people, like, pay really close attention to the trailer. And some people, my friends from the UK, were like, what? I didn't say anything. I'm like, I'm literally right there, dude. But, so it was announced eventually, and then I could say something. So I could neither confirm nor deny anything. But also, I was there to host panels. I hosted interviews with Manny Jacinto, with Sam. I hosted a fashion competition with Ashley Eckstein. So I went to Star Wars Celebration to help facilitate things, but also as a fan. So I'm a Star Wars fan first.
Yes. As the fans, though, we always get suspicious. We're like, something's afoot.
Sort of, you were right.
Gideon, hi.
Hi.
Okay, so Devin, I mean, I'm curious now what the response to this character has been like for you. People love her. I want to dive into this moment in the finale at some point, but just tell me a little bit about what it kind of feels like to be on the other side of season 1 and seeing the fan response to this character.
Well, one of the things that kept me calm is someone that's extremely new to the Star Wars world, galaxy, all of it, and learning a lot about Star Wars through our show. And that's what Sam said to me at the beginning, 'cause I was quite nervous about cons and meeting everyone and the questions I might be asked and if I'm well versed enough in Star Wars. And I'm totally not yet. Just being completely honest, I'm still learning, but I'm learning through all the fans, which is also incredible to meet everybody that loves our show so much and people that already love Devin so much. But yeah, I'm learning about this world through our show, and I'm learning about Devin through really, honestly, experiences that I've had in my life as when I was a teenager, as a woman now. I can't give things away. But Devin is really coming from inside, deep inside of myself, and I know her very, very, very well. And I feel very comfortable in her. And something I just want to add is that it's been quite incredible to be a part of a project where you have, like, people have listened to my ideas for Devin. Which is very satisfying as an actor. And it's also been very important for me to, Devin is a new character, and Star Wars, there are many incredible, strong female characters, but it is still very male-dominated in a way. And I really wanted her to stand out and connect to men and women and boys and girls, everybody, and I feel like she's done that so far, so that's a really nice feeling.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's awesome.
Yes. And Sam, just to add to that, what was it like for you building the kind of this dynamic with Gideon and their character dynamic as well?
Well, when you watch season 1, you discover that Maul starts training her the moment he meets her. He starts, every time they encounter each other, it's a new lesson that he needs her to learn to move on. And so part of the fun of having Gideon there is she is, as an actor, extraordinarily gifted and really experienced, but as a Jedi, less experienced. So, you know, she'd say to me like, "Hey, should I watch a bunch of Star Wars?" And I said, "Don't do that. No, learn from what we're doing in the show, because your character is taking the world in the same way that Taylor Gray as Ezra Bridger, he had never seen any Star Wars, and Dave Filoni, when he caught wind of that, he said, "Oh my God, don't watch Star Wars, don't watch any of it. Learn it all from Freddie." So Freddie taught Taylor about Star Wars through those scenes, and so I'm doing the dark side version of that with Gideon. So I don't know, maybe when we're all done, Gideon's gonna be like, "So Star Wars is about conquering and destroying people?" And I'm like, yeah, that's it, you got it.
I had some Star Wars knowledge. Like, I watched the movies growing up, but it can get very, very deep, and learning how to get that deep still. And I'll get there.
She went and saw Revenge of the Sith with us because Matt Wood was doing a screening over at the
Yes.
Fox lot for a full Atmos mix of Revenge of the Sith. So we got to see that in the theater, and so she came with. That was really, really fun. But what's so cool about Gideon is that she really does own that character, and I've said this before, I will say it again, I wouldn't know how to play Maul as the teacher if it wasn't for her performance. I have no idea what to do with that unless she's there with me. So it's a really, really great challenge for both Maul the character and me as an actor, because she's so unpredictable in a great way.
Yeah. For Matt and David, I want to ask you, what is something in this season do you think that is unique to Star Wars that we have not seen before on screen, or maybe even something that you discovered in your own work where you were like, wow, we're going to play with this, it is going to be just something completely new that we've never done before?
You know, Maul Shadow Lord starts out and just empties you, as an audience member, it just drops you off into the world of Janix in this very sort of film noir homage that I worked really hard on making sure that it felt like it was his own world. You know, there's new police sirens and police cars, but what does a police force in Star Wars sound like? What does a police space phone at police headquarters sound like? You know, and these are actually real challenges. And the idea for that planet to make it sort of Blade Runner-ish, but also very classic film noir Hollywood, was to really strongly set that up. And then that makes it so much more powerful when the Empire shows up to basically swallow it whole and devastate it. And so giving it its own sort of culture, its own feel, as a unique place that Devin and Docky happen to be hiding out in, as well as Maul and Rookcast, that was really important. And doing that then, and then also honoring the style. I mean, the Lucasfilm animation team did such an incredible job updating their visuals, and that painterly style that they went for really looks spectacular. So when you're working on it, you want to just rise to the occasion and create something that sounds spectacular as well. Other than that, my simple answer would be 6 people fighting with lightsabers, 3 of which are double-bladed. There were 9 blades on screen, and oh my God! That was quite a mix. Even Ben Bird stopped me at the ranch at lunch, and he was like, "How's it going?" And I said, "Well, I got 6 people fighting with lightsabers," and he knew exactly what the struggles were going to be in the mix. And he's like, "Let me guess," and he starts talking to me about some of the technical sides of making that really clear and punchy and powerful. That was a big deal. It's the animators and the fight choreographers like Stuart Lee and his son. They did an amazing job choreographing, Devin, Maul, the Inquisitors, Vader, Docky. I mean, it really was spectacular to see, and also quite scary to begin work on as a sound designer and editor.
Yeah.
For me, I think it's just watching the evolution of Lucasfilm Animation as a company and seeing, being there right at the inception of when we came up with the Clone Wars and watching a lot of that team through the years evolve and see it on the screen. And I think when we all went to that event at Disney to show the finale, and we saw it on a really big screen with a full audience, it really just put you in that place. And is it Joel Aaron that did all the painterly sort of looking? Is that a lot?
Yeah,
of
yeah.
Those visuals just is like something I've never seen before in Lucasfilm Animation. And even sitting there with Dave Filoni and watching it with him and having that reaction to experiencing that, know how far we've come as a company in that, and watching a lot of the same key players all the way through to now, and the evolution of what we've created that's been for me something that's really been dear to my heart. And then knowing that we have a lot of Star Wars that we work on at Skywalker Ranch, and just knowing that I have such a solid partner in sound that has done such a great job on this show and hired a fantastic crew and just loves it as much as we all do. So having that confidence to know that David has brought such an incredible soundscape to what we've done, and just everything across the board. And we do this little thing called Loop Group, or additional voices, where we'll go through and anything that hasn't been like expressly scripted for the show, but they have people moving their mouths, or a radio voice, or a stormtrooper, or a trooper, or people in the cop's office, or David will go through with us. We have a little core team, and we voice all that, and it's just such a fun time for us to do Star Wars improv together, and we bridge all the actors together from their home studios, and we have a great time doing that. And that's something we didn't have the luxury of doing in the early days of Lucasfilm Animation, so it's fun to just flesh out those worlds and give it an audio and visual enhancement to what has come before. And not to mention Kevin Kiner's score, which was incredible. I mean, watching him excel as an artist, Kevin Kiner and his whole family, who
The
did
music,
such an amazing job with the music. So yeah, it's lovely.
I have to say, like, when I'm thinking about the sound too, there's in the finale, it's Gideon is yelling, and there's like this kind of guttural yell that comes from Devin that is one of, like, if I was standing, I would have taken a step back. Are there any behind the scenes details you can tell me about what went into that moment?
You're yelling?
Yeah, I mean, I yell.
That was all you.
That was-
I put a little bit of a demonic effect on the end of when you yelled, "I will kill them." But that's just because I was like, first of all, Gideon, I've recorded Sam for 20 years, and the sound coming out of him is huge. And then Gideon shows up and goes, "Okay." And then just, your voice is incredible and so powerful, and like there's so much weight and gravitas to that. Yeah, it's awesome. And so the two of you guys together, it's just this like lightning in a bottle in terms of casting and the relationship that you built on screen and the potential for that. Because I would get the turn, what they call a turnover. They deliver the episode for us to start in sound. And I would just watch it down with the dialogue and the power that you guys are putting out on the mic. So the job really is to just kind of, I like to say it's to yes and something. So if she does a huge scream, I'll give it a little delay or reverb, but that's all Gideon. That's just your natural talent and instrument. And I just want to protect it and make it, dramatically awesome. But do you have any behind the scenes stories about recording it?
Also, thank you for saying that. I find that so comforting to hear when anybody in sound or film editing anything like that actually is like, I want to keep the performance as it was and doesn't try and, excuse my language, fuck with it too much. That is very special because a lot of people, I work a lot in film and television, and they're like, oh yeah, but like, you know, going to work, like, oh, that must be so nice. You do voiceover, it must be so much easier. And I'm just like, no, it's not. Like, sure, maybe you could go to work and like, your sweatpants if you want, you don't have to change into wardrobe, but you're sweating, you're crying, you're screaming, you're getting nauseous from the emotion you're putting out, you're moving around, you look like a fucking freak, and you can't be afraid. Like, you literally just have to let it go. I've seen you do weird shit, you've seen me do weird shit, but you have to do that to get the guttural scream, the weird cracky noises that you end up making. I don't even know what happens in those sessions, because you do it A, B, C, you'll do it 3 times. Maybe you'll do a fun run, but it's always changing, and I don't know, that's the beauty of recording. It's just as hard as on-screen work, and it's just as important, and I love it. It's totally part of my soul, and I mean, that's why those screams come out, you know?
You guys are sweat. I mean, it's like physical exertion.
Yeah.
It's not just, you know, like sitting down and just kind of doing it in front of a microphone. There's a physicality that you can hear.
You gotta sit down so you don't pass out, like, you're spitting. It's a lot.
When we auditioned Gideon, it was very clear that it was going to be her, that she was going to get that role. Very, very clear. But in the audition, we never had her lose it. Like, she had scenes where she was strong with Lawson and strong with people. We saw different sides of her, but we never saw her just lose it. And very early in the season, in episode 3, in fact, when Maul is fighting her and Maul is telling her, everything about your life is hopeless, everything you wanted for your life, none of it is happening, and you're sitting by and the Empire's doing whatever they want, and you, a Jedi, are doing nothing. Nothing. Your life is in ruin. And Gideon, there in the room, this was going to be the moment where we really learned was Gideon going to be the apprentice. And Gideon just lets out this scream, and immediately I thought, wow, whoa, that's Maul's apprentice right there. Oh, we didn't even think to test her for this, but she's Maul's apprentice. Can you imagine what it would be like if we were with an actor who didn't have that range, who wouldn't go there? Because with Gideon, you ask her once and she will go there. You don't need to, okay, a little bit more, can you give me a little bit more? No, she's gonna give you everything she has. And that's what you need if you're gonna portray this character correctly. So I remember that day when we were recording, I was like, yes, that's her. Fantastic.
Is it my birthday? Everybody's being so nice. Thank you. Both of you.
Yes, well that.
Thank you.
Vanessa, I want to ask you, when you're playing 2 different characters in the Star Wars universe, does your strategy in the booth change at all? Like, do you kind of have a different, like the amount you give in one character versus the other, the kind of physicality, anything like that change between characters?
Yeah, I feel like Hera leads with her heart. She is a tactician, she's a great pilot, she's also able to protect and defend herself, so she's good at combat. But I think she's looking to reason with people and recruit, as opposed to take out a flamethrower and decimate people in the name of her lord, you know what I mean? Yeah, so I think Rook has a shoot first, ask questions later mentality. But I kept thinking of Brienne of Tarth in the Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
That she has an affection and a reverence for her master, if you will. And I felt that same way. I've been very good friends with Sam Witwer for many, many years, and I would definitely defend his honor in any scenario. But I have a very extensive martial arts background, and I'm also Italian. I've said before that Hera is very loyal, but I think Rook takes it to the next level. So while they have different means of executing their goals, I think they are wired very similarly in terms of their loyalty, and they will protect what they care about, and so they're not so different. But I think Rook is more from her root chakra. She's got a lower voice, obviously. You know, she is not to be messed with, and she might have had a sense of humor. We didn't see it. We won't see it, but she might have had a bit of a sense of humor with her mates. I don't know.
She's the only character up until now in Star Wars history that could disagree with Maul. And he's like, okay, you don't agree with me? She's like, no, I think it's this. He's like, okay.
I thought that was lovely that he listened to Rook if she pointed things out.
It was so important that we had Vanessa there, because if it was, let's say if it was an actor who perhaps wasn't as strong, it would really hurt the Maul character if he was listening to someone who was just kind of a pushover or didn't have that presence, that fierce presence. But Vanessa pulls it off. You believe that this person can speak up to Maul, and Maul will go, okay. And he'll listen to her and say, understood, I get your perspective. Because that's a very new thing for the Maul character. So if you didn't have her, I don't think that would really work. I don't think it would work. But it worked beautifully with her.
You know what amazed me, by the way? The show before Maul Shadow Lord was Star Wars The Bad Batch. Any of you guys watched Star Wars The Bad Batch? So we had a great time working on that show. And just to speak to Vanessa's range, because you were asking about approaches, she played a 12-year-old, 10-year-old Hera Syndulla in Bad Batch. And that was the last time I had worked with your voice, and it was so convincing. And then fast forward to just a couple years later.
I called you up. I said, who did they get to play young
He
Hera?
did.
They were killing it.
He did. I said, that's Vanessa.
Like, what? Because I was like, whoever that is, they're just nailing Vanessa. Like, it was really, really good. I had no idea it was her.
Well, I'm an old school Clone Wars fan, so I'm a huge fan of Chom Syndulla and the whole Ryloth arc and Saw Gerrera and the whole thing. I mean, that was just bananas. And I love the whole Ryloth accent. I speak French, so I'm fluent in French, so it's not a far cry. And it was so much fun. Brad Rao, who also works on Shadow Lord, directed me, and we were curious to see Hera as a child. How much of a Ryloth accent does she have? How much moxie does she have as a teenage girl? Does she cultivate that? Was she always born that way? Or was she more timid, and who we know her to have become? It's more of an interesting journey. So we played with that together, and we had a really great time. I was honored to be able to discover that with Brad.
Absolutely. Since we are at the Fan Expo, I want to ask some fan-related questions here. And I asked this on a couple other panels and got some really interesting answers. What is the weirdest piece of merchandise that you've seen your character's face on, or a character that you've worked on, or from a show you've worked on?
Sam, you're going to have to start this one, I think.
The weirdest piece of merchandise that I saw Maul's face on?
Yeah. Any weird merch you were just like, oh, I didn't know that existed?
I don't know.
How strange. Maybe a tea towel. Maybe.
Because it's all licensed by Lucasfilm, so it's not like...
Not all of it.
I mean...
Yeah.
Do tell.
Fan art or there's been tattoos, I know. Like,
tattoos.
Tattoos are a big one.
Yeah. I don't know, Matt, you got any General Grievous merchandise that blew your mind?
Just tattoos, but that's not officially, you wouldn't want to call that merchandise.
Okay, let's go with
But they're
tattoos
gonna-
then, since no one can think of them.
They're going to make that official, right? There'll be official Star Wars tattoos.
Don't they have a tattoo at Celebration?
Yeah.
Tattoo pavilion.
The tattoo
I'm
pavilion.
going to get into that. I'm going to make the tattoos myself.
I will say someone brought a beautifully 3D printed, hand painted, very large Spybot
Yes.
to our table.
Real Spybot.
It was like this big. It was gorgeous, and it was weathered and like really meticulously done. We all signed it. That was incredible.
was incredible.
When fans make things, you know, the cosplay, the lightsabers. You know, someone came up and showed us a Star Killer you know, from Force Unleashed, we did Force Unleashed almost 20 years ago, and that saber hilt, Starkiller saber hilt, and then brought us one from Star Wars and Clone Wars, and like talk about how they meticulously solder the motherboard and how they put in all the sound effects, and somebody designed them, and then they played one of the sound effects I had made for Skeleton Crew that was in there. That stuff just blows me away.
Yeah.
And I also think to myself, that's what we do. We love working on this stuff, so we just do it. And when I wasn't working for Matt and I wasn't working in Star Wars, I was also writing Star Wars music and making, you know, podcasting and doing radio dramas and anything I could, because I just loved it so much. And so when you come to an expo like this and you talk to the fans, that is a really infectious part of it, is really understanding that they love what you love, and that kind of energy is definitely symbiotic. I believe that's the Star Wars word.
Yeah. Well, I mean, what is when a fan does approach you, what typically what is the overall #1 like line or thing that they say to you when they approach you? And it can be about anything. It doesn't necessarily have to be.
They'll often come up and they'll say, "Can you sign this?" And I'm like,
Yeah.
Amazing. That's yeah.
"Oh," and I say yes.
Yeah, and you say yes.
Yeah.
I say sure.
These are the insights you will learn at Fan Expo Anaheim.
I can
When you attend a
you can
panel.
probably predict what the one is that people mostly say when they come to my table. There you go. There it is.
Hello there.
And then by default, I have to go.
General Kenobi, you are a bold one. Kill him.
That's it. That's it.
Did I tell you that I did an audiobook at one point, or an audio story in an audiobook, and General Grievous shows up, and I never realized how exhausting that voice could be. Because I'm like, sure, okay, I think Matt does it like this, and I did it, and I was just like, oh my god, and the coughing and I'm like, oh dude, this guy, like, you got a pair of lungs on you, pal. It's good
Or
stuff.
the comic insult dog, like one of the two. It's kind of a callback to the 90s, but yes, it's a lot of like that.
Do you ever feel like General Grievous and Bane would be like great roommates for like a
Yes.
sort of either a buddy cop thing or like an odd couple type roommates thing, you know, where, you know, Bane is like, did you eat all of my sandwich? Grievous is like,
I don't even have a mouth. How am I supposed to do that?
Yeah, you're thinking you had the mask, but I was born with the mask. You were simply adopted by it.
It's great.
Love how you guys finish each other's.
Sandwiches.
sandwiches.
Did you put the toilet paper back, Grievous?
I don't even have so why would I use it?
He goes everything, you know, he doesn't.
Aura Singh lives right next door, and she's just eye rolling the whole time.
Or Singh does, yeah, it's true.
What is one scene from All Shadow Lord that you hope people watch back with a little bit of a closer lens? Is there anything that, yeah, you have something in mind?
Oh yes. 108? Yeah, the 108. In episode 8, Maul is having a very, very bad day. And I think we're all particularly proud of that because this was something that evolved as we were working on the show. That Maul gets defeated by the Inquisitors. The Inquisitors who, by the way, Maul is spoiling for a fight with those guys. He wants to really, you know, beat them up and show that he's better than Palpatine's minions. But they win the fight. And partially because his knee is malfunctioning because of the kick that Daki gave him. But, you know, and that's going to mess with your head when you can't rely on your own knee. But there was this whole thing where he's slinking through the sewers and going through this PTSD of having just watched someone who looked just like his brother die in exactly the same way his brother died, and killed by the same person, essentially. Killed by the Emperor, essentially. That was that was not something that we just figured out overnight. That took a few months of various iterations. You had to get involved. We all were working on what happens to Maul as he goes through those tunnels and the Force visions that he sees. And everyone got involved in that. Dave Filoni got involved in that. Brad and Matt, obviously. And then you had to, with the whole mix job, you had to really figure out how to make sense of this Force vision, you know?
It was a lot of there was a lot of ideas that were presented for this section where Maul is essentially slipping back into madness. The same thing that had him become Spider Maul after his trauma on Naboo with Obi-Wan Kenobi, and he was, you know, cut in half, presumably left for dead, or presumably died, and he was left for dead. And so when we were putting together this scene kind of in his underworld and navigating through this vision quest of his own trauma, there was so much music. There's a sandstorm, there's visions, there's wind and dust and debris, and all these lines of dialogue that we were trying out from the Inquisitors, from Palpatine, from Maul himself, from Savage Opress. And eventually what came together, and this was after multiple attempts at editing the episode, at mixing the episode.
We recorded it a few times.
We
recorded that whole sequence several times.
Sam just losing his mind in front of the microphone, you know, really going for it, you know, lots of emotion. But there were moments that just kind of revealed themselves the more we worked on it. And the first time I mixed it, Brad said, you know what, try it again, we'll come back in a month, go nuts. And that led to me combining lines of Savage and Maul. It led to me, Matt once gave me an assignment. He said, hey, I need you to remaster the first 6 Star Wars films for airplanes. Do you remember this? What? So, did I ever tell you this?
No!
Yeah, so if you watch those movies on a plane, I was like, hey, he had me assemble the reels, and I got to just sit there and study those movies like for a couple months, you know? But that means I knew where the stems were for the Phantom Menace. So I absolutely went and grabbed Ewan McGregor's No, and I grabbed the sound of the laser gates when they're opening on the and I kept it exactly how you guys did it in the movie, with that same rhythm, because sound has emotional memory, and the rhythm of a movie, we have adjusted it and seen it a million times. So I kept that rhythm in there, and that triggers your Kenobi, and then that's actually Ewan McGregor's voice you hear coming up and going, you know, and that's how Maul remembers it. That's not how it happened, but that's how Maul remembers it.
Whoa.
Right?
That's how it happened. That's how it happened. He came at me, man.
I don't know, I've seen the movie.
I was walking around Naboo, chilling out.
And he just came up to you and
then
said,
he started going, dun, 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 dun. I'm like, what the? Okay, we'll handle this. We'll take the long way. I'm just walking. There was a garden. It was nice. Okay, I'll fight these guys. Sorry, continue. Propaganda, guys.
you're really turning me around here. I'm sorry. I didn't realize that was what it was. Yeah, no,
It was a bad day, David.
It was a bad day. Well, and this is another bad day where he's reliving all of that, and that took a lot of iteration. It's different, you know. Clone Wars was like 26 episodes a season. This is more like a very linear 3.5-hour story in chapters, 10 episodes, and that means that our process was much more iterative than it has been in the past. It was like try it again. They would do these continuity reviews where they would look at it and find ways to make it better, which was the mandate about the whole show, is just do more, do it better, do it bigger. And that, I think that episode, to answer your question initially, remember that was like a year ago when she asked that question, was to basically just hammer on that. And I think that style of working, that sequence in chapter 8, the creeping fear, best exemplifies that new working process together as a team.
That was fantastic, yes. On that note, we know we are getting a season 2, which is very exciting. What is one thing that you are very much looking forward to diving into next season? I know you can't say much, but just give us a little teaseroo.
Finding my lungs.
Yeah. What can I say about? I can tell you that the season 2 finale is
NDA.
I can tell you snipers,
No.
the Lucasfilm snipers. Red dots appear on our
I was
forehead.
going to say, I don't know if there's anything we can say other than that
No.
it's in production. We're
I was
making.
about to say something that you could totally say that could get the audience excited, but you know, it's okay.
I'm too scared.
No, the
I'm too scared.
The finale of season 2 is pretty epic. Pretty epic.
Okay. All right. All right.
We're dead.
Well, as we wrap up here at Fan Expo, is there anything, I'm just going to give you the floor, is there anything you want to say to the fans before we head out here?
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Come find us downstairs.
Yeah, come to the
Love to talk
basement.
to you. Yes.
Come say hi to us. We want to give you a big Star Wars family hug.
They keep the celebrities in the basement.
I'm just curious, how many Clone Wars fans are there here?
Clone Wars fans.
So, as a Clone Wars fan, I just want to say to you guys, thank you for the amount of care and attention that you took to give us the soul food of those moments with Sauvage Opress. Because in your processing that trauma, I think you helped us have closure with what we witnessed in the Clone Wars. And that's the kind of care and attention that this team brought. And as a Clone Wars fan, it meant everything to me. So let's give them some love and say thank you back, yeah? They worked tirelessly, and I'm so grateful. Anyway, and we thank you for understanding all of that and appreciating it. Thank you. Without you, we have nothing.
That's right. It's true. Thank you so much.
That's awesome. Well, I want to say thank you to all of you for coming out. I want to say thank you. Everybody give it up for Maul Shadow Lord.